Hi everyone, and welcome back out to Harvest Hills Ranch. Back in the home gym again today. But has it always been a home gym for me? Or was there a time when I was hanging out in commercial gyms or other places? Hey guys, I'm Dr. Arland Hill, and I have a passion for all things nutrition, health, and wellness related, and of course that includes exercise. And so today we're going to be talking about the different options that you have available to you based on where you want to work out. Now, you can work out at home, you can go to a commercial gym, you can go to a CrossFit box. There's all kind of different places that you can work out. And I thought what I would do is just share some of my experience with you and let you know maybe a couple of ideas to kick around, just some things you might not have thought about when you're looking at, does it make sense for me to invest in equipment for me to work out at home, or should I put that money to a gym membership and not worry about bringing things into my home? The answer is not going to be the same for everyone, and that's not the intention of this video, to push you one way or the other. However, I just want to share some ideas to think about as you're trying to make this decision for yourself. So with that in mind, let me hit a couple of points here. And first, we're going to start off with, especially for those of you that are new to working out and not familiar with the movements yet, don't understand some of the movements, don't understand putting together a sequence of exercise, guys, you're going to be self-conscious. And that's going to be a deterrent for you when you're among other people. Now, inherently, should it be? No, but human nature, many times it is. And so if you're newer into working out, my suggestion, and this is simply a suggestion, would be that learn to do some of the workouts at home. Learn to develop your skill set in the privacy of your own home. And unless, and here's a caveat to that, unless you have a competent trainer, instructor that you can work with to guide you through that process and help cut down the learning curve significantly for you. If that's available to you, maybe starting out at home, maybe that's going to deter your progress, and in that case, maybe it makes more sense to go to a commercial facility. But if worrying about what other people are going to think, and it shouldn't, but if it does, then maybe you just need to start your program at home. Now, what else? Well, just to give you some context on where I came from, I started out in a commercial gym. All through my time in high school, I worked out with my father in a commercial gym. When I went to college, I worked out at the gym on campus, essentially a commercial gym there as well. And then all the way through my mid-30s, I was in a commercial gym setting. And liked it, enjoyed it, got a lot out of that environment, felt like I could go in and push myself. But I noticed as I got towards the end of working out in commercial gyms, I started running into some know-it-all trainers. And trainers who inherently, for some reason, felt like they had more authority than they did and felt the impending need to always tell me how to work out. So, it gets old after a while, right? And it gets old of trainers trying to be equipment hogs. And so if that's what you're running into with a commercial gym, hey, it's time to cut ties and move on down the road. Go to a place where you can do your workouts unimpeded in a safe manner, and you don't have to worry about input from outside sources unless that's something that you're seeking. Now, when I think about some other things, and just to share, that was a bit of a pet peeve for mine, but it was enough to deter me ultimately from moving away from the classic commercial gyms. One other thing that I would suggest to think about here, and there's not just one other thing, there's a lot of other things we're going to talk about, but something else to look at is when you go to a commercial gym, they have set hours. Now, inherently, there are some gym chains out there now that are going to have 24-hour access. And if that works for you and you have availability to that, hey, great. But there are still many locations where you have to adhere to set hours. And if that doesn't work with your schedule, it just doesn't work with your schedule, and working out at home may be better. I like to start my workouts at 5:30 in the morning. Some of the gyms I've previously used don't open till 6. And so I'm already 30 minutes behind in my day. I like to get going on time and not be set back out of the gate. And so the hours, the schedule hours for some of these locations, that should be a consideration for you as well. Now, once you look at also time invested in this, we also have to think about not just what the schedule is, but how long does it take us to get to that location? Does it take 30 minutes to get there? Does it take 45? Does this vary based on the time of day and the traffic? Am I going during rush hour? Am I in the morning or in the evening? These are all variables to factor in, and just ask yourself, could I get that workout done in the amount of time that I'm spending traveling if I had these same resources at home? And I think what you'll find many times is that unless your gym's right around the corner, the answer to that is yes, I can probably get this done a bit quicker if I have things on site. What else? You know, when you're in a commercial gym setting, you have to wait on equipment, especially if you're going at a peak time. There were many times that I would go into the gym with a plan, and I would have to vary my plan based on individuals that were on the equipment. Hey, they weren't doing anything wrong. They were in there trying to get a workout just like I was, but it interfered with what I was trying to accomplish and what my objectives were. So I'm not a big fan of having to wait on equipment. When you're in a home gym, you know, I never wait on equipment anymore. The equipment is accessible and available to me when I need it to be, so I jump on. That's something else you want to think about. You'll notice in a gym, in a commercial gym, you have availability to a lot of equipment, and that in one context, that is an attribute because you can do variations on movement. Let's say you've got an injury, you injured your shoulder, you injured your knee, your hip's not feeling so good. You can generally go and find a piece of equipment that will allow you to vary that movement, to take the stress off of that joint or off of that muscle so that you can continue to do that activity. However, I thought about this a little more, and I also began to realize that the availability of an excessive amount of equipment also becomes a detriment, because in a way it ends up crushing your own creativity about how to do exercises. And also when it comes to machines, in some way you can become dependent on the machine to do the exercise or the movement correctly. For example, you guys have probably heard me say this in other videos, especially when I start talking about lower body activities. I am a big fan of a body weight squat. And if you're solely depending on machines and not getting off of those machines and adding some free motion activity in there as well to enhance your movement patterns, promote stability, enhance your proprioception, your ability to balance, if you're not doing free motion stuff in complement with those machines, then the availability of all of that exercise equipment in some way also becomes a detriment. And you don't want to get stuck in that mindset either. Now, what else can we think about here? Well, another consideration that you should have is what space do you have available to you? If it's only a limited amount of space, then hey, at the end of the day, if you don't have the available room at home or you don't have the garage gym space that makes sense for you to spare, it may make more sense for you to go to a commercial location or to we used to go to not what I would call a commercial location, but after our commercial gym time, Leah and I worked out at a small independent gym, and it was great, right? It was very similar to a CrossFit box, but it had more of your traditional bodybuilding, powerlifting type of equipment and exercises in there, along with some traditional cardio and rehabilitative equipment. And it was we were more free to be able to do the exercises that we wanted to do, which brings me to another point. Once you figure out the space component, one of the things at a home gym, one of the things you can do at a home gym is you can set up and do exercises that frankly you're not going to be able to get away with in a commercial gym. So for example, many commercial gyms are going to shy away from you doing anything with resistance bands on the equipment. They may be fine with you doing the resistance bands as you're just holding them or using them with your own body, but when you start putting those bands on equipment or tying them off on equipment and stuff like that, I've seen scenarios where they don't really care much for that. So, and I'm a big advocate of bands. I think they have a role to play in developing our muscle tissue and our exercise capabilities. And that's just one example on this. I've also seen it where a ball, you guys have seen the larger exercise balls. I like to use those from time to time to do different exercises. And I've seen where doing push-ups on those became an issue with some of the gym staff. Oh, you're going to bust the ball. That's not what the balls are meant for. They're meant to be sat on. And so those are just things that they're not dangerous activities, but they crimp your freedom to be able to do the motions and movements that you want. And if these are important for the progression of your objectives in your workouts or for rehabilitating the body based on an injury or faulty movement pattern that you have, that becomes a problem. And you know, when I go and do a workout, I want to do that workout. I don't want to have to do half of that workout at a commercial gym and then come back home and do the rest of my workout. When I'm in the mental frame of mind that I'm knocking my workout out and we're focused and we're drilling down and getting this done, I want to stay engaged in that until the process is finalized. Now, there's a whole other option that you should also consider here that has nothing to do with a home gym, a commercial gym, a small independent gym like I mentioned that I worked out at, a CrossFit box. These are all independent, right? Or this next one is completely separate from all of those. Your next option is, can you work out outside? Just go outside, and whether you're doing bodyweight activities out there, whether you're going out and doing sprints on the bicycle, doing regular sprints, taking a sled and just which a sled literally can be just nothing more than a couple of pieces of wood stacked on top of each other, and you're pulling it with some rope. So doing a sled drag, something like that, really easy things that you can do outside. Maybe you've got the kids playground equipment. You go to the park and you can work out on the playground equipment. I've seen examples where groups get together and that group is specifically working out on the playground equipment. It's a great use of that facility. And when it's not being used during non-school hours, hey, most communities don't care. So, keep that in your back pocket as an option as well. But I thought, as I realized I'm sharing all this information about how to frame your mind about your workouts, I'm giving you context on what to do, body weight, band exercises, all these different exercises that I'm sharing with you and telling you to incorporate and trying to find some rotation and how to do them. I realized that I really need to give you some information around where you're working out at. And, can you be successful in different locations? And the short answer to that is yes. Your workout location really at the end of the day is what you make of it. While now, at this point, I have a far greater preference for a home gym, and certainly with the home gym community growing and the availability of workout resources like, for example, this rack that you see here, or the bars, or the weights, and all these things being so readily available now that it makes this workout environment a really nice option. But hey, listen, at the end of the day, if you like the environment of other people, if you feel like you get motivated by that gym environment, absolutely you should be in a gym working out, in a commercial gym working out. So a couple of things to think about, but do what's best for you at the end of the day, guys. Hey, listen, if you are looking for more information about how to optimize your health and you want to find out not just where to optimize your health at, but how to optimize your health, hey guys, go to drarlandhill.com. You'll find all the information that I create for online, as well as other resources there right at that website. And if you're looking for information about what Leah and I do out here at Harvest Hills Ranch, you'll find all that on harvesthillsranch.com. You can look at the information regarding how we produce food with uncompromising quality and all the mindset that goes into producing that food with human nutrition in mind. You as the end goal simply is what that boils down to. So, hey, listen, guys, until next time, I will see you soon. I am Dr. Arland Hill. Take care.